to SpeakInC.O.A.D. I'm your boy doing the intros tonight, Chente the homie. We're sitting here with TBD.
Yep.
And then C.O.A.D himself is here.
What up?
And I think we got a plan for you guys tonight. This is episode 4, so we're moving along. We're making progress. We're still learning. But it's the name of the game, baby. What we got going on tonight, guys?
I think we're going to talk about some paranormal activity. I don't know too much about it, so I'm going to kind of let you guys run on it. And then I'm going to throw out some ideas like as you guys go.
Okay.
I think I kind of want to touch on a few different like other paranormal things too, like even creatures or something like that. If you guys are cool with that.
Yeah, man.
And then you.
We'll just talk and see where it goes.
Okay. Well, let me throw the first snowball to turn into a boulder. How do you guys feel about ghosts, spirits? Do you think they exist? Do you think we're surrounded by them? Or do you think it's a figment of our imagination?
I think they exist, man.
To what level do you think they exist?
To what level? I don't know. Well, what do you mean by like level? Like, is this the percentage again, or?
More like, do you think like the spirits around us are malevolent, like demons, and have bad intentions, or do you think like some are bad and others are like people that have passed on, sending us messages, or spirits that have unfinished business and
Casper?
Yeah, I feel there's some that are bad, you know. Evil, I guess you could say, and then I feel there's some that are past loved ones who are just there, you know, like they be watching, and then some are just like residual, they're just there, and they might not even know that they're there, that they're spirits, that they're ghosts. They have an attachment. They have an attachment to, I don't know, the house or something, and it's just like a moment in their time where like you see him like walk past a doorway. And that's like maybe the only time you see him, and it's the same place, same thing, but they don't even notice you, and it's just like a residual thing. They're just there doing that. They're stuck, I guess.
Okay. And it's funny you mentioned that, because there was like this thing I was reading, and they were saying a lot of times we can't see ghosts directly. We can only see them out of our peripheral, and that's why, you know, we like see those shadows passing and we look and no one's ever there, because like we can't like actively, I don't know if it's our eyes or our brain, can't actively see a ghost or spirit when we're looking for it, but like we see like the shades of them passing us. Mm-hmm. So it's funny how you say like just them walking past doorways is like a lot when we see them, because that would make sense, you know. You see the doorway out of the corner of your eye and you see it for that quick split second.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. You can't, maybe you can't. If you directly focus on it, we just can't see it. Because it doesn't make sense. Our mind's like, you know, nothing's there. That's why people say your mind's playing tricks on you, you know?
Yeah, I can understand that.
Or they don't want you to see them.
Ooh.
Yeah. Okay. Take us there, man.
Well, I was going to mention what you said, like, say it's like belongs to a house. Like, say, for example, like, we always joke around, like, my grandma passed away in the house that we live in now, and sometimes like the electric, the wiring is like kind of faulty in like certain areas. So like sometimes like we'll be talking and all of a sudden the lights kind of flicker, and we're like, "Oh, what do you want, Grandma?" Like just as like a pure joke. Like I don't believe that my grandma's still living in this house. Like they bought this house like first. They were the first ones to live here and stuff. But I don't think that she has anything that's like tied to the house. We got rid of all her faces and anything that she would have had any like correlation with.
Yeah.
I mean, like, we didn't need a ton of vases. She used to collect them.
Oh, she collected. Okay.
Yeah. But I don't know. I feel like there definitely is paranormal activity, but I don't know if I believe that it's like past life family members. I almost wonder if it's like, say for example, like if you believe in heaven and hell or whatever, I feel that there's people that feel that they are good and think that they are going to be like, or they don't know what they believe in type of thing.
Okay.
and instead of dying and going to heaven, is like that's where their soul would go. I almost wonder if it's kind of like a Stranger Things upside down type of world, where they're all alone, and that's their hell. So they're kind of like in their, they might be in your home, but if you look for those things or you reach out to those things, then they will find you. I don't feel like you'll accidentally find them. Like if you move into a house that's haunted,
Yeah.
like those are kind of iffy for me, but I do believe that they could be like, if you did move into a house and you did have like certain things that came to your life, it might have been from like, I don't know. That's a tough one. Like I'm kind of up in the air with that one. Like the Paranormal Activity movies, like I was kind of into those because they were like, oh, this really happened, this was real,
Yeah.
and all this stuff. But then
Pass.
yeah, and then like the Conjuring ones, those type of movies are like the scariest movies for me. Those are the only ones that I like that are scary movies, because those ones are like, I've heard that those were like based off of true stories.
Okay.
And that's where I feel like that could be like demonic possession of us, and claim that they are a soul or a ghost or something like that. But I feel like that's where they could be demonic and like even play tricks, like you're saying, playing tricks on you and stuff. Like that's the whole idea of like even if you looked at Norse mythology, the Loki god or whatever, he would play tricks. There was like a Native American god that was like a coyote,
yes,
and that would play tricks on people and stuff too. So I almost wonder if like there's certain things, or like if there's like a certain entity that gets those types of roles, and that can play tricks on people that are willing to accept them.
Well,
Gremlins. Yeah, I feel. Oh, go ahead.
Gremlins? The movie?
Yeah, not the movie Gremlins, but like in folklore, gremlins and imps were notorious tricksters. They were like little spirits, no bigger than like that remote right there, like a fire stick remote,
or like a phone.
And they would like move stuff. You know, you set your keys right here. You go to the bathroom, you come back, and now your keys are gone. They were notorious, and I wonder if sometimes, like, if imps and gremlins are real, some things we mistake for spirits moving stuff. What if it's a creature like that? Something that, you know, so small we couldn't see it, or how we talked about like Bigfoot being able to cloak, able to disguise itself with magic, science, whatever you want to call it, and causing mischief.
Yeah.
And in other times, maybe it is a spirit. Maybe it's like, if you believe it, the ghost of a person that lives there before, and they're angry that you live in their house, and they're not malicious, but you know, they just, maybe if I move enough stuff where he can't find it and he gets fed up, he'll just leave this place. Maybe they were a prankster themselves in life before they passed, and in the afterlife, all they know is pranks. Yeah.
Yep, I definitely feel that. I feel that there's different, I guess, flavors of spirits too.
What's your flavor?
Yeah, like some are stronger. Some are definitely stronger than others. And I also feel like if you did move into a haunted house, people tell you, oh, it's haunted. And you're like, oh, whatever. But you go in there with like an open mind, but you don't pay attention to it. You're like, whatever, it's not for me. And then you move out. Would you be worried about it attaching to you and going with you?
I think maybe if like you took something that belonged there, that like.
But what about if it just liked you? It's like, you know what? Like, since you guys joke around saying, oh, you know, what do you want, grandma, whatever.
Yeah.
Since you're putting the energy out there, do you feel like maybe a spirit maybe like can attach to that? And be like, oh, these people are welcoming or whatever. So you're like welcoming in it. You could.
Yeah, because there is a theory
open
that,
something,
like,
you know. You're not like opening like a portal to hell or anything, but you're opening a door.
Your belief gives the entity power. So like, when it was by itself, no one was there. It couldn't interact with the world. But you started focusing on the things you saw, and you paying attention to it, talking about it, gave it like energy, gave it life to interact with the world, and maybe attach itself and
or like maybe flicker a little bit more, and then you're like, oh, what the heck is going on? And all of a sudden,
but you still talk about it, you know, you're like, oh, grandma, this, you know.
Yeah.
And so now, and then you guys are gonna move out, or whatever, and then it's like, well, these are my kinfolk, I'm gonna go with them, and then it just follows you.
Then you just have faulty electrical.
Or or you leave it there, and then the next person who's in the house
and they're not friendly.
Deals with it, you know.
Yeah.
And then if they don't like it as much, and they start tearing down walls and fixing the electric, and the spirit doesn't like it.
It's funny you mentioned
and then
that.
it's gonna open in for like negativity, and then a negative spirit might feed off of that first entity that was there, and then I don't know, other shit starts happening. You know, you're missing socks.
I still believe the dryer eats at least one a year, or one a load. I should say that.
One a
Yeah.
load.
One a load.
That should be a shirt. One a load.
That shirt
Oh,
can go
never
many
mind.
different
Yo,
directions.
That's a Black
somebody
Holes
get on
episode.
Dude.
But to what he was saying, I had a childhood friend whose mom once told me a story about how they were like renovating the house and they were doing stuff to the basement, and there's one side of the basement that has never been touched. And she said when they were getting ready to like knock out the wall to make the basement bigger, she had this dream, and this lady told her not to do it and all this other stuff. And she said once she had that dream, she just left it alone, never touched it. And so, like, it didn't make the basement any better or any worse, but like some people believe that, like, spirits can contact you in dreams. And
Yeah.
do either one of you feel like that? Do you ever feel like someone has spoken to you in a dream or visited you in a dream?
This is so crazy that you just mentioned that. I was just thinking about this earlier, and I was going to ask you and your brother yesterday about it, and I completely forgot. But I don't know about you, Chente. Do you want to talk on that first?
No, I want to hear what you got to say.
So, I've had dreams where it's felt so real that after I'm just like woke up like choked up, like almost like not crying and stuff, but like, oh man, this felt so real that I got like some sort of
Emotional.
Yeah, and you get some sort of like acknowledgement, like not acknowledgement.
Peace of mind.
Yes, exactly. Like I had, I wasn't like too close with like my one grandpa. Like I would greet him and stuff when we would come and visit and stuff like that, and like give him hugs or whatever, like when you go see him. But it wasn't like I ever really sat down with him and talked with him one on one. You know, like when I was like a younger kid and stuff. And then it just was always like the adults talked with like the grandma and grandpa and type of thing. Like I would hang out with my grandma and stuff when I was little, but it wasn't anything like having deep conversations with her.
Okay.
And then when I joined the military, me and him, I never knew. Like I knew that he was in the Navy like prior, like when he was young and stuff, but I didn't really like have. We never communicated that. We never talked about that.
Okay.
Like he never really brought it up. I never asked him stories. Nothing. Like it never really came about. And then I joined the military, and then when me and him would like, I would come into town to visit or whatever the case, it was always like he would get. It was almost like they'd be like, oh yeah, he's not doing too well, or he's tired or whatever, and he's back in his back bedroom, and then I would come over there and like go say hey, like while he's watching TV, and he's like, oh, give me a minute, I'll be right out, and like it would almost like pump him up, you know, to like come out and like hang out and in the kitchen and stuff and just sit there and talk and like talk shop pretty much. Like he had the same. I had a different job at that time, and then I ended up switching jobs. And then he told me, he's like, oh, that's what I do. So I ended up not even knowing what he did for a job, ended up joining that position and stuff. And like, it was like a real cool connection for both of us. And then I just remember like when he passed away, it was like probably 2015. We knew he was kind of getting bad and stuff. And like he had like C.O.A.D or something like that, where like it's like really hard to breathe. You have to like have the tubes and stuff. Yeah. But he would just get worse and worse and stuff. Every time he got sick, had to go to the hospital. He just kind of got worse. It was like, the best way that I could explain it would be like if you're at like a 10, that's your best, and you get sick, you go to the hospital, you're a 9, and then the next time you get sick, you're a 7. Then the next time it just like gradually got worse over the years and stuff. I mean, that took time, but it gradually got worse and stuff. But anyway, long story short, I just remember one day I was like, I don't even know if I was thinking about him specifically, but I just remember having a dream. He looked young, like he looked like maybe when I was little. Like he looked like he was like in his 60s, like late 50s, early 60s, something like that.
Yeah.
So for me, like he had like white hair by the time he died, but then he had like salt and pepper hair.
Okay.
So he looked like that, like trim. Anyway, I ended up just having a dream, and I saw him in this dream, and I was just like you look good. Like what the heck? I was like, I could have swore you passed away, and like you died. And he told me, he's like, no, I'm doing fine. He's like, I'm great. Like I feel amazing. Like I don't, why'd you think I died or something? Or I don't know if he told me, like I asked him if he died, and he said yes, but I'm good now, kind of thing.
Okay.
Like he looked how. Anyway, I ended up talking to him and stuff, and it just was like a really deep conversation. He was just letting me know that he was way better. He was no longer sick. He was no longer in pain.
Okay.
He was way better off, and like he's doing fine, and I didn't have to worry about him. And it was just like I woke up like with chills. Like I like had to tell my mom, like I had a dream about your dad and stuff, and it just was like a really cool. She would get emotional with stuff, and there would be things that would remind her of him. And I just remember telling her that like I had a dream about him, and he told me that he was fine, and like she got like choked up and stuff talking to me about it, and just even like explained to me how much she appreciated that, like
Okay.
me being able to tell her and stuff. And I don't know, just I don't think that was like a soul, like spirit in my room or anything like that. Like it was later, like where he was.
Okay.
Like I felt like he was like moved on to better places, like to heaven or something, and he just was content where he was, and I didn't have to worry. And I felt like I had to tell my mom and stuff too. So,
Okay.
and then I kind of feel like that too. Like if I have a dream of a friend, or I start getting like you ever get that gut feeling, like, and then all of a sudden you're like, man, I just thought about a friend. Like, I
Yeah.
wonder how he's doing, or she's doing, or whoever it is. Anytime I get that little, it's almost like a little nudge or like a little poke or something. Like, hey, don't forget about them.
Yeah.
And it's like sometimes I'll just get the urge and just text them, just hey, what's up? Like, I was just thinking about you. Just hope you're doing okay. Like, don't even have to hit me back. I just want to let you know I was thinking about you. If you need anything, let me know. Or if you want to hit me back, like, cool, we'll catch up. So, I don't know.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Because you have sent me several times a couple of those texts.
Yeah.
Just out of the blue. Was it an eerie feeling you got, or just like a feeling?
I think a couple were, and I think I told you that.
Okay.
Because you were like, did you have a dream I died or something?
Because someone else once called me and they go, hey, are you okay? Are you going through anything? And I'm like, no. They go, I just woke up from a dream where you died. And I'm like, I'm alive.
You're like, don't put that evil on me.
Driving, bro.
That's
You're like,
exactly how I
oh,
felt. Don't
shit.
put that evil on me. And then you have called me or randomly text me, like, just out of the blue, checking up on me. And I'm like, it's just a writing on the wall like thing. Like, I how we were talking earlier, I believe and don't believe that there are spirits around us.
Yeah.
I don't know how much they interact with us, but like, I do believe that maybe someone on the other side, or maybe some of us are more sensitive to the spiritual world around us.
Mm-hmm.
And so when people like, hey, just randomly check up on me out of the blue, I'm like, is this it? Is this my final destination moment? Like, is the earning board gonna fall and a nail go through my head?
Yeah.
Like,
At the gym under the leg press.
Yes,
like,
like shoot my hip bones through my guts. Like, I don't know. So when people like just hit me up out of the blue and ask about my well-being, I kind of get a little nervous. I'm like, I got to be like more cautious about whatever I'm doing.
What about you? You had any Chente?
No, man.
Nothing like that?
I don't have anything cool like that.
Well, I'm in the same boat as my mom passed away in 2015, and I haven't had ones where she had conversations like your grandfather did, but I've had ones where like there's things that we have done, me, my brother, his kids, and then I'll have a dream and it's us doing those same things, and my mom was with us and giving ideas and playing with my niece, and I don't know if it's my mind coping with her loss and putting her in those moments, or if it's like her way of letting know I approve of what you're doing and how you guys are handling the situations. Just like reaching out and going, you're doing good. Because like there's never any, there was one where like she didn't like something and me and her got in this huge argument.
Oh no.
In one of my dreams. And but most of them it's just like her
She's like, I told you not to text that girl. She's like, I'm sorry. I wanted to see some boobs. No, I'm just sorry.
Hey, she might feel that way sometimes. But like there was that one where like we got in an argument, but most of them are just like her interacting and like going to soccer games and stuff like we do on the regular with the kids. And like again, I don't know if it's my brain coping with wanting her to be there, or if it's just her, you know, like her nod of approval by letting me know that, hey, I'm watching over. You guys are doing well.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
And I do know, like, I've always liked cooking, but I've never been a really good baker. A year after she passed, I was just sitting at home watching TV, and then I got up, I went in the kitchen, and I made like 4 dozen cookies.
Dang.
And then when I got done, I sat, and then I just kind of like looked up at the sky. I was like, that was you, wasn't it? Because like, one, never made cookies by myself. I've always made them with her.
Dang.
But this is me on my own, following some random recipe, and I just made a bunch of cookies. And she loved to cook. She loved to bake. And like, I again, I felt like that was a general like tap on the shoulder. Like, I'm there with you. Don't worry.
She was holding your hands while you're forming the
like
the
Ghost
cookie
when
dough.
he was doing the clay.
Yes.
The cookie dough.
Patrick Swayze with the pot. Yeah, man.
Dang.
Man, I got no cool story.
Yeah, you do.
No one really cares about me that much, I guess. I just, I just be out here chilling.
Okay, how about this? Because we're talking about people passing and relatives. Do you think that, and not, we'll ask this one next, but do you think people that passed on could come back and possess people, whether it's for good or a bad intent, in purposes, I should say?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think in like movies when people are like channeling or something, or what are those called? Seances. And stuff.
Yeah, I feel like if you do that, a seance.
I feel like when you call for it,
you're just opening a fucking door.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it could just be this bad spirit that's gonna pretend to be whoever you're trying to contact, you know?
Ooh, yeah. See, I never thought of that.
And then bam, they're attached. They're through the door. You got them through the door. They're attached to you.
Wait. Can you say that one more time, but slower?
If you go to a seance and you open this door, you're trying to contact, you know, a past loved one. It could channel an evil spirit or a bad spirit with bad intentions. Is going to come through that door, pretending to be that loved one.
Yeah.
And then you got them through the door, and then it's going to attach to you. That's it. Because it's easy to open that door, man. You don't know what you got to do to get that person out. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And then if it's strong enough, you know, what's it going to do? It's going to play on you. And
Yep. And then
over time, I think stuff's going to change, you know, and it might not physically jump in your body and take stuff, but it's going to definitely latch on to you, and
influence
stuff might change. And then, you know, then TBD is going to be the one texting you, but like, yo, man, are you all right?
Are you doing good? Have you been up to nefarious means?
Oh no, the Necronomicon was in my drawer.
Oh, the Necronomicon.
Nah, I've had. I was gonna ask you too, because when you said that, like I was just like I was listening to like the an audio book version of the Bible and stuff, and came across like some part where they were talking about like don't pray to like mediums, and don't believe mediums, and don't people that are like try to do the seances and all that stuff. And what was interesting to me is like same with psychics. Whenever people go to like psychics and stuff, or like go to a medium and they want to talk to somebody, if you think about it, say God's all around, right? And let's just say like the devil's lurking. I'm just using this for example. If the devil's lurking, he knows all about your past. He could memorize the Bible. Like he could quote scripture from the Bible if he really needed to or wanted to, you know?
Yes.
Because he could master that and understand that more than anybody, because he's been around since the beginning almost.
Eons.
But if you were to reach out and do like a medium or do like a seance, I feel like those entities that were around that person could easily be like, hey, tell me something that only this person would know. It's like, well, of course that person only knew it, and they could tell you that, but they can't tell you the future. They can only tell you the past, and they could tell you like things that will lead up, like, for example, like if you start like sitting down with a medium or you start sitting down with like a psychic or something, the first thing they start to tell you is your personality traits. And then you think about it, like certain personality traits are going to go to mediums or would use psychics. Not every single type of personality trait has that urge to do it.
Yeah.
So I think they could easily pinpoint people that like they'll utilize like astrology, or they'll utilize like zodiac signs, and they'll try to utilize certain dates or times or things like that, where
Help fake the funk.
yeah, like, oh well, what do you want to talk about? Like, what do you want to know? And then you give them a little snippet, and then that's where I feel like those people can channel certain things and give you that kind of information, based off of like spirits assisting them.
Yeah.
If that.
I think that makes total sense. Because that medium is channeling stuff like that, and they do it all their lives.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just walking around with an open door. If they do it in their home, that door's open.
Yeah.
Spirits are hanging around. They're getting stronger. So maybe the one that you are trying to channel does want to come through, but the other spirit around is going to feed off of that, and that spirit's going to get stronger, you know?
He was
And maybe if it eats that spirit, I guess you could say, then it knows even more about you because it was your past loved one who knows more about you.
Yeah, definitely.
So, I think messing with that stuff is, you got to know what you're doing, man.
Oh, yeah.
Well, here's a wild theory, because like you said, know what you're doing. What if, schizophrenia is a real thing. People have different personalities and voices in their head. What if it was some people were dabbling in dark arts and different things like that? Or, we have rumors of scientists doing different things with and opening up portals to different dimensions. And what if those voices, that multiple personality and schizophrenia, are spirits that have attached themselves? Because like one of the stories in the Bible is Legion, where all those spirits were in the guy, and God took the spirits and like put them in the pig.
Mm-hmm.
And what if it's something like that? Somebody,
like a bunch of pigs.
Was it a bunch of pigs?
And I think they jumped off a cliff.
Yes.
Or jumped in the water and all drowned.
Something like that. I know like they ran off, but I can't remember exactly how they came to their demise. But yeah, and so what if some of the people with schizophrenia, because I'm not saying like everybody is possessed and has spirits in their head. Some people could just naturally have something wrong and hear voices or have multiple personalities. But what if some of them are people that dabbled in things they shouldn't have dabbled in, and those spirits have attached themselves, and us not knowing about spirituality have classified them as multiple personality disorder, schizophrenic, and whatnot.
Yeah.
There's people that like will walk into a store and shoot people, and then they go, I don't remember doing any of that. I just like woke up and I was holding a gun. Like, what if that was a case of a spirit taking hold?
Yeah.
Not saying somebody couldn't have made that up just for an insanity case, but we don't know what else is out there. We don't, like, again, everything we're saying is speculation.
Mm-hmm.
So who's to say that couldn't be something that happened?
Yeah.
So I want to say something based off of that. Just
Okay.
So most, all right, let me give you an example. Most people that end up dying of alcohol abuse or drug abuse, what do they usually say? They couldn't fight off their demons.
Yes.
Okay. Now, take that into consideration with people that are homeless, that are people that are addicted to drugs or alcohol. Mm-hmm. What's another name for liquor and alcohol?
Poison.
Spirits.
Oh, spirits.
So once they start getting too obsessed with that, I feel like that's, and I think the drugs can lead to that too, but schizophrenia, I think, could be different spirits coming through. And
Okay.
I think that they could either be possessed, but people don't know how to, I don't know. I don't want to like say that everybody that's schizophrenic is possessed by
Yeah.
any means, but who knows if they have multiple different personalities and stuff too. I think there is a thing where if a child is abused or goes through, excuse me, if a child is abused or goes through some sort of trauma, I think before the age of 5, it might even be like 2, they slowly start to, they, not that they always do this, but they can slowly start to change different, have different personalities and different characteristics. Like a little girl could be like a you ever seen Britney Spears when she's doing that interview, and she's doing an interview, I think, with 60 Minutes, or she was somebody on like TV or whatever, and she all of a sudden starts crying,
Hmm.
and then starts like talking like a little kid. Have you ever seen those videos at all?
No, but I've seen other instances where there was people that have done that. They just like seem like something else may have been speaking through them, or maybe like you said, like their personality changed, and maybe one personality came up to speak.
Yeah, and then they could suppress certain ones by trying to like fight for that position.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
if I don't know, like if there's certain spirits that can control a person, like if they have multiple, then they have their original, but how does that one fight through and become able to talk?
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
like did they have to fight off and like overcome something, or did the other ones just ran their course and got tired and now it's the main one's turn?
I didn't think about that.
Maybe if I may add some stuff, I feel the whichever one's stronger coming through is gonna feed off. Maybe it feeds off the energy of the original trying to come through. So
Mm,
the more you try, that the other spirit found a way to just eat off that energy, and
okay.
it just keeps shoving that original one down,
Hmm.
and sometimes you just never get back to it, and that's how they end up in like the nut house because they don't know which is which.
Yeah. And then when they're taking pills, like to subside that, like those different medications, like certain people have to be on certain medications for things.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, even Tylenol, man, I do not like Tylenol. It really like messes with my, it really messes with like how I feel. Like I'll be, I could be hungry and taking Tylenol. Like if I was like, it doesn't even have to be like super sick. It could just be for pain or something.
Yeah.
And I will not eat. I'll be like, I don't want to eat anything. Like nothing sounds good, or even if I eat something, I don't know if like something coats your tongue when you take Tylenol,
Yeah.
but like something doesn't taste right, So I almost wonder like if there's certain medications that these people are on where they're supposed to. That way, it keeps um, their main personality, their main self present.
Yeah.
They don't like how they feel while they're on that drug. So you're like, I don't want to take this because I don't like how I feel. But as soon as they get off of it, all the other ones can come through.
Makes sense.
Yeah, yeah,
Because also they say like our mind puts up like own mental blocks and barriers for when we go through traumatic situations.
Mm-hmm.
And how you were just saying like when kids under a certain age go through a situation. So to them that personality or entity being in control was what they needed to make it through the day. And they're not used to being the forefront. So them not taking the medication is them relinquishing control to something stronger to handle life where they can't handle it.
Mm.
because it weakens them to like fight it, right? I guess you could say
Yeah.
makes them tired. I like that. That was good.
Yeah.
Uh, Thought for the day. My life may not be going the way I planned, but it's going exactly the way God planned it.
All right, you guys just listened to the Speak and Code podcast, episode 4, part 1. This is our outro. Stay safe and stay blessed.
Hey, man. Bye, Felicia.
That was Chente the homie.
This is Deadman Dynamite with the Southern Hospitality telling you all to have a good night. Deuce.